but again, people forget once your shift is over, you're a regular dude in society. People will see you out. I mean, like everything that you do in your uniform, somebody gonna see you in the real world without it. Mm-hmm. And now everything that you tried to do, you're gonna have to stand on it. Like I had 2 cats run up on me at Walmart one time. It was like, hey man, you a cop? I'm like, where's this going? He was like, yeah, you a cop. He was like, you work downtown, don't you?
How we feeling?
I don't know, man. Feel all right.
Feel all right.
Feel all right. Can't complain.
Well, in comparison to the field that you're in regular life, what's the energy levels,
I mean,
mentally?
It's sometimes it's kind of tough, bro. Like I ain't even gonna lie to you. You know, the job, it's hard not to take some of that stuff home with you, but you gotta have a healthy way of compartmentalizing everything. That's kind of what I learned over the last 12 years or so. Just kind of not letting it affect your everyday life as much as you can. You know, kind of leaving work at work when you can. Mm-hmm. That's been my thing for the last 12 years or so. Just trying not to take everything home because I mean it'll spill on all your people if you ain't careful.
Yeah. And we'll get back to that. You're African American, I would assume.
Yeah.
You look a little mixed, so I'm
you know, my mother's father's side of the family.
I'm wondering what would lead a person like you into law enforcement. So let's just start from where you were, your how you were raised, your household and all that.
Man, so the household I was raised in, it was kind of anti-police. You know what I mean? Kind of like raised on 34th and Monroe, then moved from there to 24th and Brooklyn. So it's kind of like we didn't really mess with the police like that. So, I mean, that's kind of the household I came from. So we really didn't have a whole lot of, you should be a police officer or a firefighter when you grow up. It was kind of running behind the neighborhood kids. It's kind of how I came up. But like in 2008 and 9, that's kind of when things changed for me.
What did you think you was going? When you were younger, what were your aspirations?
I wanted to be a rapper.
Really?
Yeah, real life, man. I wanted to be a rapper. You couldn't tell me nothing. Back when I was 16, 17, couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be the next hottest thing in the streets.
Why was being a policeman forbidden? Why was that kind of talk forbidden in your neighborhood, household?
Ultimately, man, there was never really any positive law enforcement interactions from what I saw. You know, it was always police coming to take somebody to jail or beat somebody up. So it was never really glorified. They never had anything positive to add from what I saw. So it was never one of those things to where my family was like, yeah, you should be a cop when you grow up. So I used to run from the police. I used to run from them all the time in the neighborhood, but never thought I would be one.
What got you out here running from the police?
Man, neighborhood kid, man, doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing.
Like throwing rocks at windows and stuff like that.
Yeah, then I ran with some older dudes. They was breaking their houses. I wasn't, but I was running with them. So it was automatically assumed that I was down with the breaking and entering like they was. So cops get called, I'm in the wind.
Earlier, we were talking on camera, and you said your grandma was against you hanging with these type of people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my grandma kept me square.
What was your grandma's values and the morals that she...
Christian grandma, you know, that old school grandmother, she kept everything tight. You know what I mean? You wasn't hanging out. You wasn't going out. You can go outside, but you're going to stay around the house. You know, if she come outside and holler your name, you're going to be in close enough proximity to hear it. The whole street light thing, that was me. Street light come on, you on the porch. You know what I'm saying? You didn't play with no kids. If they didn't know their parents, none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't no going to spend the night over nobody's houses. None of that.
Oh, you saying you didn't play with the kids if you...
Yeah. So nowadays...
didn't know the parents.
Yeah, nowadays kids can just hang out with anybody. When I came up, if your people didn't know the kids' people, you weren't playing with them. Nah, you had rules and regulations, man. And she just kept me square like that.
Was Graham having you in church 7 days a week? kind of
Nah,
type
she didn't.
stuff?
She used to take me with her, but we didn't go to church a whole lot. But when she did go, she would make sure I was there with her. Like she was actually the first person that taught me about God, bro. Like when I started the 6th grade, I couldn't sleep. So I was amped up, ready for the first day of school, couldn't go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
She pulled me to the side. She was like, hey, pray, say this prayer. And I repeated that prayer, bro. Next thing I know, I was waking up for school. So from that point on, she just made it her business to instill God in my life like crazy. I went away from it after a while, but ended up coming right back.
And I think you said your grandma ended up passing, and you ended up going to the streets.
Yeah, man. So I was 13, so this was 94, September of 94. My grandmother passed from an asthma attack at the house. But before she passed, she had came up to the school to bring another shirt up there because I had ripped the shirt probably doing something I had no business doing. So she dropped the shirt off at the school, went down to the office, got it from her the whole nine. By the time I got home from school, house was empty, neighborhood was gloomy as heck, man. Only to find out she had an asthma attack and passed on the front porch.
Was it just you and your grandma in the house?
Nah, so I stayed with my grandma predominantly because, mom's, God rest her soul, mom was a party girl. So mom's was kicking it.
Okay.
So grandma was the built-in babysitter for the most part.
Uh huh.
And then I ultimately ended up staying with my grandma. And that's kind of how it started. And I just stayed with her.
Was your grandma the block mom?
She was one of them. It was a couple of them. It was my grandma, May Pearl. You had Miss Black. You had Miss Johnson. That was back when the whole neighborhood kind of pitched in to keep the kids in line. And anybody could kick your butt back in them days too.
Because you said the neighborhood was gloomy and the house
Yeah.
was gloomy. So when you got home, wait, was that your first time experiencing death like that? Like
Yeah.
a close death like
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah.
Can you take us what you went through?
So it was a Wednesday. I never forget. It was a Wednesday, man. So I get off the bus, walking down the street, and like I said, man, the neighborhood was just gloomy, man. Cloudy. It just seemed like it was gonna rain. So one of my neighbors down the street, she said, y'all come down here, because it was me, my sister, and my cousin. She was like, y'all come down here. Ain't nobody at the house, which was weird, but I never thought nothing of it. So a little while later, mom's come pulling up, and she get out the car crying hysterically. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what didn't happen? So we walk up the street, and she says, like, mama's gone. It didn't register at first. I'm like, what you mean she gone? She was like, mama's dead. And according to them, because I don't even have a recollection of it, they was like, I just took off running to the backyard. And man, it was like literally one of the hardest times I ever had, because she was almost like all I had, day in and day out. She taught me, man, about respect, taught me about God, man, taught me so many things, man, how to keep a house, what women don't need, taught me about hygiene, you name it. Grandma
Mm-hmm.
did it all. So now just to think that all of that now is gone, never to return again. It took a toll on me, man. I ain't even gonna front.
Who was able to console you in those times? Like who was able to like hug on you and like actually to where you could feel it? You know what I mean?
To be honest, my cousin Greg, man. My cousin Greg, shout out to Greg, man. He's always been like one of my biggest supporters. So that's when I got into the music. Cause he used to make beats or whatever back in the 90s, back before making beats was popular. And he had a
Mm-hmm.
little Casio board he used to play around on. So he was the one that kind of helped me channel that to the music. So that's how I started, man. Did my first little freestyle in the basement
Yeah.
right after that, and man, the rest is history.
So moving from losing your grandmother and then her keeping you from the streets and
Mm-hmm.
then like losing her, and what was that transition into starting to?
It was a matter of, let me see what I've been missing out on, because obviously I've been missing out on something, because she's been keeping me on the porch, for the lack of a better term, all these years. So we ended up moving from 34th and Monroe to 24th and Brooklyn. And I just clicked up with some neighborhood cats, man, and we didn't do nothing crazy. I ain't never sold no drugs or nothing like that, but we was just ripping and running, man. Neighborhood kids, out all night, hanging out, drinking, girls, you name it. That was it. That was my whole life for about 5 or 6 years straight.
And throughout the process of you growing up in the hood, and then losing your grandma, and then going about living a life a certain type of way, I imagine you've seen a lot of things
Oh yeah,
as far as the streets go, or the police involvement with the streets. What were some of those things you seen?
man. I seen my first dead body as an early teen. Man, I'm talking maybe 15.
Hmm.
Seen a guy get shot, laid out in the grass in one of our neighbors' yard.
You seen them get shot?
Nah, we heard about it
Oh,
and came out. And homeboy was laid out. First time I ever seen something crazy like that, and it was eye opening to let you know that everything they tell you about the hood is true. You can die out here, and this was a grown man got killed by a 15-year-old. So those kind of things kind of kept me from really diving deep into the street. So, but I mean, it definitely woke me up to the other side of street life.
unfortunately, even staying on the porch or in the house, you can still get hit.
Indeed,
You know what I'm saying?
indeed.
So now transitioning into you becoming a a cop. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out where somebody who comes from a neighborhood or a place where it's not a thing to be a cop, to being out and hating the cops.
yeah,
Well, basically
yeah,
hating the cops.
yeah, man.
And you're black
Yeah,
or African American.
yeah.
What makes you become law enforcement?
So, in order to get there, let me back up a little bit.
Talk to me.
So, when I was 18, living on right off Brooklyn, one of my homeboys came to me. He was like, "Hey, bro," he said, "It's a church like 2 blocks from here." He was like, "Man, I went down there. He's like, ain't nothing but fine women at that church."
Okay.
I'm like, "Word? Hey, that's my thing."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Let's go." So it was 5 of us: me, Brian, Brandon, Chavis, and Ron. We was the Fab Five, right? So a couple of us went down there, and for sure, he didn't lie. He didn't lie, bro. Church was full of them. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm in here for all the wrong reasons."
Yeah.
So probably the summer of '99. It was the summer of '99. I was 18. So I kept going. All the homies stopped going. So I kept going, man. And the pastor at the time, Bishop L.W. Bowden Jr., man, he was preaching this message, and it just it checked all the boxes. Like, because I've been running wild for the last few years, I'm like, I felt like I needed something different, or else I was going to be that statistic kind of guy. I was already going down the path. I dropped out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know my dad till I was 12. Dad was locked up. So I was checking all the statistic boxes. So I'm like, I need something different. And man, I've been at that church for the last 25 years, still at the same place.
Why'd you drop out of high school?
Man, I felt like I didn't need it. I felt like all I needed was hanging out with my homeboys and all the women I was dealing with. I felt like school was for suckers, and I didn't want to be a part of it.
And you ain't had nobody to answer to
Nope.
in high school.
Nah, I told my mom, like, "Hey, I think I'm done with school. I'm not going." So it's the end of my junior year. I told mom's like, "Hey, yo, I ain't going back to school next year." And mom's just like, "All right." I didn't think it was gonna be that easy.
Damn, all right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Only to find out that my mom didn't finish high school. So I felt after a while, I felt like that was kind of like, well, I didn't finish, so how can I tell you to finish? And that was kind of ultimately the thing that made me get back into school. But fast forwarding, in 2008, I had I was working out with this personal trainer and had tore a muscle in my shoulder, and I didn't think nothing of it. Ultimately, that torn muscle ended up putting a chemical in my bloodstream, man, and messed my kidneys up. So I was bedridden, bro, for like a year and a half. Couldn't do nothing, couldn't work, none of that. So while I was laid up for a year and a half, I used to watch a lot of cop shows on TV. And I mean, it looked like it was fun. So after, you know what I'm saying, my condition went into remission or whatever, I got back out not knowing that one of the dudes at my church was a cop. He worked for the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a ride along with him one day. I was like, oh yeah, this is what's up.
Hey, you just requested a ride on? You
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, man, come out and ride with me. I'm like, I can do that? He was like, yeah. So I went out, I rode for 12 hours, the whole shift. And I said, yeah, this is what's up.
what you see in that 12 hours?
Man, car chases, chasing after people, all the fun stuff, all the high adrenaline stuff. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff that people would get into law enforcement for. That's what I saw. I mean, driving fast. You know what I mean? The whole nine. And I'm like, man, this is what's up. So that following year, I put myself through the police academy, and that was it.
So just the fact that you could drive fast, you chase people,
Yeah,
is it the authority too that it holds too?
kinda. I mean, but that wasn't really my thing. Like I was just about to drive
Just
fast.
want to play cops and
Yeah,
robbers.
yeah, bro, driving fast, chasing people. You know what I mean? People run from you, you jump out, get behind them. Hey, one day, a whole day of that, I said, I'm sold. I'm sold. No more computer work, no more of that. I'm out here ripping and running.
Yeah, but they chasing the people you used to be around.
Facts.
And you are, so what, why do you want to chase?
Facts. I mean, it's the
Why
truth.
do you want to chase them?
Hey, it was fun. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It was fun. It was fun, man.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Okay, so after your 12-hour ride with Cuz,
Yeah,
what's next?
bro, I was hooked. So that next year, so this had to be like November of 2011. No, 2010. 2010, November 2010. So that following year in the fall is when they had their next police academy class. So I signed up for the academy class in August of 2011. And I think I finished in December of 2011. And the sheriff's office picked me up in February of 2012. So I've been there ever since.
Training for that, the training course, like, do you think they put y'all through everything y'all need to go through when going through that course, or they just
Nah, they can only teach you certain stuff in the academy. You know what I mean? Like they can only tell you this is what's gonna happen, but I mean, you don't really get it until you out there in the real world dealing with it.
Yeah.
They can try to prepare you as best they can. Like I had a relative, you know, he got in, had a situation happen, and he had to step away because I mean, like I said, the academy can only prepare you for so much. When you out here in the real world and you see what's going on, it's a difference. It's a complete difference. So I mean, the academy do what they can to prepare you. They give you all the law stuff you need, so you learn all your laws and statutes. You know what I'm saying? They get you ready for defensive tactics in case, you know what I'm saying, you got to get down with somebody, but they can't prepare you for everything.
Yeah, it's like us working on handling the ball and stuff. I look cold as a motherfucker when we just handle the ball, but once I get
Once
on
you
the
get in
court,
the game, yeah.
once you get in the game, it's a little different.
It's different.
When it, like you said, your relative walked away from what you didn't walk away from. What was it, if you could remember, what was it that person experienced or may have seen? Because I know y'all probably talked about it too.
Yeah, we talked about it. So he had a baby die on him. So, I mean, you can't prepare for that. You know what I'm saying? So he had a baby die on him. And the thing that I feel like one of the things that happened, it happened so early in his career. Like he didn't have a whole lot of footing in the profession before it happened. So that's kind of what I think one of the deciding factors was. Like he didn't have enough build up till it happened. Like, I mean, he had only been on for like a month and a half. And then this situation happens and he was like thrown right into it. So again, academy can't prepare you for it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really, until you have it right here in your hands, you don't know how you're going to respond to it.
So on your first day, you're riding with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Were you like Officer Hoyt or?
Kind of, yeah. But you do it for 3 months. So you ride with somebody for 3 months.
Yeah.
So the way ours is set up, you have 3 phases. You work days. This is how mine was. I worked 1 month of days, 1 month of nights, and then you work another month of days before they send you to wherever they're gonna plug you in there, whether it's days or nights. But you riding. So your first guy you ride with, then you ride with another guy, then you go back to the first guy that you rode with.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's like Officer Hoyt.
How would do you remember your first actual day, your first encounter where the police work you seen that you wanted to do, like how your adrenaline was and how your
Man, my very first day, I was responsible for killing a deer, bro. Very first day.
What you mean responsible for killing?
So out in Lee Summit, so a lot of these houses got these big wrought iron fences. So a deer tried to jump over one, and his legs got caught in the fence and snapped his leg, so he was just hanging there.
Mm.
So, they were like, "You got to go put it down." I'm like, "Word?" Like, "Yeah." All right. So I get out there. My trainer was like, "Pop the trunk, get the shotgun." I'm like, "Word?" He's like, "Yeah." So I get out, get the shotgun. I'm like, "Man, what do I shoot it in the head?" He like, "Nah." It's like, shoot it in the lungs and the heart. I'm like, "Bro, where is that at?"
Right.
So he drew a little diagram on his hand. It was like, "Shoot it right here." And I did. So
You shot it in the right area?
yeah. I thought I missed because like it didn't start bleeding immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, shot that mug and the firefighters took that mug. I'm pretty sure they turned that thing into some deer jerky. But yeah, they wrapped him up, hauled him on off. That was day one. Day one.
What about when it got real though?
I mean, it's a couple different times, man.
First time.
First time it got real, like my first car chase.
And you like take us through how you were feeling in the moment and till after how you felt afterwards.
Man, so I'm sitting at the Welcome Center at the stadiums on Blue Ridge Cutoff, right at I-70, right by the stadium. So I'm sitting there chilling, and I see this car flying down Blue Ridge. So this is one of my first nights by myself. No trainer. I'm on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So I see him
Really?
shooting down the street. I'm like, I'm good. So I get behind him, light him up. By the time I get to homeboy, he's so far ahead of me. Like I lit him up. I'm flooring it, trying to catch up to homeboy. So he running. I know he running. So he hits Raytown Road, and in Raytown Road, it's like all these S curves. So I'm behind him. I'm like, yeah, you ain't getting away from me. So he got out of sight. Generally, if you lose sight of the car, you're supposed to disregard. You know what I'm saying? All right, he got away.
Yeah.
Nah. That's why they tell you not to take these car chases personal. I took it personal. You ain't getting away from me. So I hit the curve and I see the car flipping. So I'm like, oh, snap. Homeboy wrecked out.
Mm-hmm.
So I get out, go up to the car. Nobody's in the car.
What?
Nobody's in the car. So I'm looking around, nobody. Car empty. So we ended up towing the car the whole nine. But we got homeboy's information. So we pop up at his house the next day. He answered the door all skint up. So he jumped out of the car with the car moving. So he was in the grass somewhere a long way from where the car was. So he jumped out and let the car go. So yeah, my sergeant jumped down my throat about that one because it looked horrible on camera.
So nobody else got hurt though?
Nah. He just skinned himself all up and ended up taking him to jail the day after. So that was my first encounter by myself.
Yeah, that shit is dangerous, bro. Like, it ain't that deep to be trying to chase some nigga and hurt somebody else. Like,
Yeah, man. But it was the middle of the night. Wasn't many cars out. It was the middle of the night, man. Wasn't many cars out.
He just couldn't let it go. Like,
I couldn't.
It's it. This game on.
I'm like, boy, I trained for this in the academy. They taught us how to drive. Big mistake.
How was the next? Like, what's the next thing look like? Did you learn from this last one? And
oh, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Oh, for sure. Then I became like the car chase specialist. I was the man. I've only had 2 cars get away from me in my whole career, and that was one of them. The other one was a van. And homeboy decided he was going to knock a fence down and drive on the train tracks with a train coming behind him. I said, he can have it. Yeah, he can have that.
Yeah. I bet he can.
Yeah, he can have that.
Man, I'm trying to imagine, like, because I know you're goofy, too. So putting all of that into, like, you actually pulling somebody over and, like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
So, man, I get it all out in the car. Like, so if I'm going to say something crazy, it's in the car. So by the time I get to the window, it's all business. It's all business.
What's the car look like?
Which one? The one that...
When you getting it out of the car, what are you getting out of
the... I'm like talking crazy to him like, yeah, fool, I'm behind you. Pull over. What you looking around for? Yes, I'm behind you. So by the time I get to the window, Deputy Darks to the sheriff's office, I stopped you for your plates. With your driver's license and insurance, please. It's all business. I just had a guy like that 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Pulled over a dude, ran his plate, and came back to an Acura. He was driving a Chrysler. So I pull him over. He give me his name. He don't know his social. He's born in 95. He tell me he don't know his social security number. First red flag. You're lying, brother. You're lying. So I go back to the car, run the information he gave me. don't come back on file to nobody. So I get back to the car like, all right, we got a problem. The information you gave me ain't coming back. So either A, I pull you out, take you down to the jail, we get you fingerprinted, find out who you are, or you tell me who you really are. I said, if you got warrants, I ain't really worried about it. Is that what you worried about? Yeah. What's your name? Give me his real name. So the name he gave me was his brother's name. The social that he gave me was off by 2 numbers, and the birthday was off by 2 days.
Niggas be doing people wrong, and they don't even give. Why you get them people my name?
Yeah, facts. I'm like, I said, so the next time you want to use your brother's information, don't.
Yeah.
And next time, get these plates done. I said, I ain't even gonna take you to jail, bro. I ain't even gonna put you no tickets. I said, just this right here, you're gonna get locked up. You got warrants out of everywhere. I said, they not gonna come and get you, so I'm not gonna take you to jail for them. He's like, I appreciate you, bro. A little fist bump.
Yeah.
Gave me a little fist bump and took off.
How did you? Got 2 questions. First, how did you learn to? Well, let me ask this first. How do you pick and choose where you do that? As far as like, all right, I ain't gonna take you down for that, but I'm,
I mean, they call it discretion, right? So that's kind of what I use. And when I'm out working, man, I never forget that I'm a human and they human too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times when guys put the uniform on, they forget to be people. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I got this uniform on, I got to prove a point, but you don't. I remember having expired tags. I remember getting pulled for no insurance. That was me at one point in time.
Yeah.
So for me to try to hem you up, you already got warrants for no insurance. Me giving you 6 more tickets is going to do what? You can't even pay the ones that you got. So I never take the human element out of it. I always try to make sure, now, if you lie to me, that's something completely different. I give you a chance. I give you 2 chances to be honest. Bro, just be honest with me. Like I had a homeboy with a fake temp tag. I knew the temp tag because somebody was selling everybody the same temp tag number on different cars. I knew it belonged to a Toyota. It's on a Cadillac. So I pull homeboy over like, hey, stopped you for your temp tag. What's wrong with it? It's fake. No, it's legit, bro. It's not. Give me your driver's license and your insurance. I ain't got no insurance. Okay, cool. We can deal with that in a minute. What's up with this temp tag? No, it's for real. I got it from the DMV. I said, it's your last time. It's your last chance to be honest. Where you get this temp tag from? Bro, it's mine. How about? Hook him up, run his driver's license. His driver's license is suspended. So now I got to take you to jail now. Got to take you to jail. Mm-hmm. So when he realized he was going to jail, he started spilling the beans. Yeah, man, all right, bro, I'll be honest. I got it from this dude. His daddy got a shop on such and such street. He printing them out the back.
Damn.
He's selling them for $25 a pop. I'm like, it's too late for that now. I gave you a chance to be honest, and I'm going to take your temp tag, and I'm going to tow your car.
Yeah.
All this could have been avoided. I could have just took your temp tag and gave you a ticket for no insurance and sent you on your way. But now, since you didn't be honest with me, at that point, I gave you a chance to be honest. You didn't be honest. Now we're here. He done ran down homeboy's whole operation. His daddy got a body shop, and he doing it.
That's crazy.
Swear.
Yeah. And that pretty much answered the other question I had, because I was going to ask you how do you detach from how you used to be, and then
Yeah.
But you said everybody is human.
Yeah, man. I never forget that, man. And I treat people like people. I talk to people like people, and I treat them like people. I've never had a problem with people since I've been doing this job, bro. Not once. I mean, I had a fight with a dude because he didn't want to go back to jail. But like, as far as like problems with people.
What you mean fight with a dude? Because he didn't want to go to back. What we doing?
So this is back when I was working in the courts. So in the courts, they had there's a division called population control, all the house arrest people. So, you got to check in, you got to stay within a certain, you got to be in the house, all that. So homeboy, like they'll set you up. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna say it. So if you violate, they'll come in, you got to come check in. But little do you know, you're going back to jail. So homeboy went off the grid for like 12 hours. They couldn't find him. So he calls like, yeah, y'all told me I can go to my mama's house. So they was like, no, all right, just come check in. I found this out later on. So they call us over there. I go over there because all the time they don't send them back to jail. They be like, all right, get your stuff straight. So I go over there chilling. So the lady's in the office, and then the dude is sitting in the chair So when I walk in the room, his back is to me. He can't see me. She sees me, and like she just immediately starts amping homeboy up. She's like, you know what? I'm sick of your shit. You're going back to jail. So she points back there where I'm at. So I'm just leaning on the door like, what's up? So he turns around and he gives me one of these. I'm like,
He shot
I'm
you.
like, I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, all right, go ahead, stand up, turn around, put your hands behind your back for me. He's like, man, can I just give my stuff to my cousin? I'm like, we'll do that in a minute. I was like, turn around, put your hands behind your back. He's like, man, all right. So homeboy starts turning. He get like halfway around and he stopped. And it's like time just slowed down. I just took a step back out the door because I already knew what's going to happen. So he turned around and just rushed me. So I was pitching him all around in the back. So I got a video of it on my on my phone, like the second part. So the way it was set up, he comes out the back. You can go left, you can go right. But in order to get out the building on the right, you got to have like a badge swipe to get out. So the lady that got him hyped, she runs out the only exit. So when he runs out, she's blocking the exit, running too slow. So he goes the other way. So the only way out the building is to come back through me. So like we tussling, fighting. So I'm throwing homeboy all around. So his cousin is in the video. He got on a red shirt. He's like, hey, cuz, get this nigga off me. His cousin was like, hell nah, bro.
Nah, bro.
He said, hell nah, bro. So I hear the lady in my ear, the dispatch chick, she's like telling the guys, like, oh, he's fighting. Y'all get over there. So I'm like handling the homeboy. So I throw him down the stairs. And then like all the other dudes come in. And, you know what I'm saying? They call him dog pal homeboy. Arrested him, got him all hemmed up, took him back to jail. But coming to find out, homeboy was a shooter in a drive-by.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, how you get house arrest? How that work? But yeah, man, that was the only issue I've ever had with people.
In that situation, what would make you not pull your weapon?
Because he didn't have nothing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm saying I'm pretty good with my hands. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in the neighborhood, you had to be pretty sharp with your hands. Wasn't no, you know what I mean? You didn't really have no access to weapons like that growing up. So you either had to learn how to fight or you had to learn how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just my thing. Like I forgot about everything. I forgot about taser. I forgot about OC spray. I forgot about all of that. It was just hands on the whole time.
See, that's the importance of people that come from where we come from, being in law enforcement.
Straight up.
So I ask you to ask you this: what do you, when you see situations like, forgive me if I say her name wrong, Sonya Massey, Sonya Massey.
Yeah, man.
How do you feel about that? Where does that take you as a person in law enforcement?
I look at a lot of these videos, man, especially that one. I just seen that one recently because somebody was like, have you seen? I'm like, I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually saw it. And man, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think a lot of guys are super duper fearful in this field.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things they do is want to reach for their guns, even when it's not even warranted. You know, like you want to scare somebody, but when you got your gun out, I mean, what else is there? You're going to say, wait a minute, let me put my gun up and get my taser. No. But a lot of these dudes, man, a lot of their tactics and stuff that they use, I would never use. I would never use. One of the biggest tools we got is our ability to talk to people. Like how you talk to people is important. Like I said, I've been doing this 12 years, bro. I've never had one time where I've had an issue talking to somebody and talking them off the ledge. I ain't never had nobody try me, but it's just because of how I talk to people. Like I've seen dudes like, no, you're gonna shut up, you're gonna listen to me. I'm like, bro, that's problematic. You ain't even gonna talk to them like that. Everybody know you the authority here. You ain't gotta throw that around.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had cats in the back of my car going to jail, thank me for being cool. You know what I'm saying? But again, people forget once your shift is over, you're a regular dude in society. People will see you out. I mean, like everything that you do in your uniform, somebody gonna see you in the real world without it. Mm-hmm. And now everything that you tried to do, you're gonna have to stand on it. Like I had two cats run up on me at Walmart one time. It was like, hey man, you a cop? I'm like, where's this going? He was like, yeah, you a cop. He was like, you work downtown, don't you? He was like, you was the cool dude. Cause then I remembered his family was down there for I think it may have been like a murder trial or something. One of their relatives got killed by her baby daddy. And like all the other guys, they wouldn't let the family like talk. They was like, nah, y'all got to get out of here. I'm like, look, come with me. Y'all can go in this room and chill and talk as long as y'all want. Just get out the hallway because it's kind of, you got both sides of the family there. So I'm like, get in this room. I let them stay in there, man. They talk, calm down, went on about their business. It's just like all in the
Yeah.
day's work for me. But he remembered that. He was like, you the cool dude, man. He was like, appreciate you for being cool, dap me up and everything. I was like, that could have went another way.
Another way.
Had I been like, nah, y'all gonna do what I say. I got an armful of bread and cheese at Walmart, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in no position to throw no hands at the moment, and it's two of them. Yeah. So,
Or
like, people
you
forget.
in a position to catch a bullet, though.
Facts, because I stay with it. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, those are situations that remind me, like, those instances, like, people don't forget the good and the bad. Yeah. So I try to make my situations the best that I can at all times.
Have you found the way you've gone about things to be effective to some of the people around you?
Yeah.
Some of the other officers around you, not the people receiving it?
Yeah, man. Like because a lot of them are on this power trip. I'm like, bro, you don't have to be that way. Like, people know you're the authority. You ain't got to throw your weight around. They see you. They see your uniforms. They see your badge. They know you're the authority here. I'm like, take a step back. And I've had to step in like, bro, you know what? I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. You can go back to the car, go talk to them. I got this. And they be like, man, what's up with your boy? I'm like, what's up with your boy? I'm like, bro, don't even worry about it. I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've always taken that approach, like, just even in real life. I ain't that. If I gotta be, I will be. But I'd rather not be that guy. I'd rather be cool, talk to you, let's get something resolved and move on.
Yeah. How do you deal with, because I'm not sure, but I would assume with different partners you done went through, somebody's done something that you've had to step. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I was on our DWI squad one year, and we get out. They used to call it going out to play, but then I kind of figured there was a bigger meaning to it because we would always go to, like, inner city. We'd always go to where, you know what I'm saying, like down here or 23rd and Toppin, the hoods, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, why don't we never go out and play in Lee Summit and, high society? But anyway, we down. Matter of fact, we was on Independence Avenue in Hardesty, right in front of that, what is it, a Walgreens? It's a Walgreens over there.
Yeah.
I think it's a Walgreens. So they call me over there. I'm thinking something wrong, so I go blazing over there. So I pull up, and it's like a car full of young black dudes. And one of the guys was like, see, we like black people. We work with a black guy.
Oh my God.
So I let them get done. And they cut little homies loose. I told him, I said, don't ever call me back over here for nothing like that. I said, not only is it offensive, I said, you had nothing to do with why I work here. You didn't have nothing to do with why I'm on this unit. So the fact that you have to work with me has nothing to do with the fact that you like me because I'm black, bro. I said, don't call me back over here for nothing stupid like that. And they never did. Like, it's hella disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It's racist as a mug.
It is.
So I'm like, don't ever call me for nothing stupid like that. Have me coming over here just to see, we like black people. We work with the black guy. Yeah. So needless to say, I never got called back out for nothing stupid like that again.
It's a breath of fresh air to at least hear you say you stand up to them, because I remember being, I want to say pulled over, but I was walking. Mm-hmm. I was actually about to go do something stupid anyway. Mm-hmm. I had something on me, threw it or whatever, but the cops stopped. They stopped to grab me. They was like, we got reports that somebody stole a Chevy that you fit the description of, whatever. I'm like, but I'm walking.
If I stole a Chevy, I'd be in it.
I'm walking right now. White cop gets aggressive, throwing me up against the car or whatever, and it's a black dude. Basically like, shut up and comply. I'm like, and I started crying, like tearing up, because I'm looking at him like,
yeah,
nigga, you just gonna let him do this?
Yeah, man.
The importance of speaking up, especially speaking up for us, is huge, because some of us are getting done wrong for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do, man. Like I said, now we got on our department, we got this policy called duty to intervene. So now it's against policy if you see somebody doing something, you don't step up and step in.
Really?
Yeah, new sheriff put that in. Shout out to Sheriff Forte. Yeah, he put that in, man. So, if you see one of your fellow officers doing something crazy or saying something crazy, and you don't jump in, you just as responsible as he is. And we didn't have that before.
Before that was implemented, what was some of like the how bad did it get? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I haven't personally witnessed a whole lot of crazy stuff. Now I've seen people get like more aggressive than they needed to be in situations, and as the new dude, you like, what do I do? Like, do I say something? So I would wait and be like, hey man, when we get in the car, I'm like, explain to me your rationale behind that. He was being, verbally combative. Bro, he just asked you why you needed his ID. Like, you can't just walk up and ID people for no apparent reason. You can't just do that. But like those situations like that, but once I got out on my own, I'm like, nah, I'm about to change this whole narrative. Like, I give people the game all day long. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've thrown blunts away or, man, give me that. Pour that out. Kids, man, like, especially with young people, like 16, 17 years old, bro. I'm like, you about to mess up your whole life. And I'm not finna be responsible for it. This is your get out of jail free card.
yeah.
Give me that. Throw it in the trash. Because once it make it to paper, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm like, you got your whole life ahead of you. And a lot of people ain't doing that. And I wasn't just doing it for us. I was doing it for just people in general.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hell, what if it's my son out one day doing something stupid? You want to mess up his whole life running with the wrong crowd? So I just took it upon myself, man, to try to change the narrative that's in my control. I mean, I can't change it, globally, but I can handle what's in my hands. So that's why I've tried to make every opportunity to change the way people look at law enforcement. I mean, for the most part, it's working.
And you say you've been here 12, 15 years?
Yep.
Being the minority in this field, how difficult with that skin color?
It's
Not just from your angle,
okay.
but from people who don't have a voice like you, who won't stand up for themselves or stand up for us or for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They just go along, what is it called?
Go along
Go
and
along,
get
get along game.
Yeah.
They just go along with it. So how is it, like, the difficulty of it? And you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So a lot of times, man, we catch a lot of heat because you're just supposed to go along. Because a lot of the guys have been here longer. You know what I'm saying? They more engrafted, but it can be difficult if you ain't got a voice of your own. You'll just go along and you'll find yourself accepting stuff that ain't cool just to be able to say, you know what I'm saying, I'm with the in crowd. I didn't care about being with them. I don't care about being, in the corner. Heck, I had a whole legal situation with the last sheriff because I didn't care. Y'all not gonna treat people bad, bro, and then expect nothing to happen. Like, people were like, oh no, just be quiet. It'll blow over. Keep your head down. No. I'm like, the reason why they keep doing people like that is because of people like you that's saying don't say nothing.
Yeah.
So, like, the moment they find that you outspoken and you don't, like, they'll ostracize you, but then once it plays out and works out, they're like, oh man, you're a hero. Man, be gone, bro. Gone. Nah, I ain't cool with it. But that's how it was for me. And now, with the new administration, man, they're completely different from the old dudes. They completely different, bro. Like, literally. Like, I'll give you an example. I pissed off the old sheriff because I wasn't afraid to stand up to him. Like, I had medical stuff going on. They didn't even care. They told me, your doctor's note don't mean nothing here. So that's when I started getting suspended for everything. They got my son kicked out of school. I mean, they just started messing with my whole life. My whole life. And I never backed down. I never backed down from them. I mean, they ended up working out. So he ended up getting caught up in some sexual scheme and some money situations. I mean, so they no longer there, but I mean, I just wasn't afraid of him. And I told him, I said, I ain't afraid of nobody here. If I know I ain't doing nothing wrong, you're not about to mistreat me. Not at all. And you're not about to mistreat people that I'm cool with, because I'll tell them what to do to get on your head about it. So now, man, I just kind of, the position I'm in now, man, I got so much freedom. The sheriff gives me so much leeway to, to go out and affect change, talk to people, meet different people. So I'm in public affairs. So I just meet people and talk to people all day.
Yeah.
That's all I do. Meet social media, news. You know what I mean? That's all I do.
There's never been threats on your life being the person that's opposed to what they're doing.
I mean, they didn't necessarily threaten my life, but they were like, your career is going to be in jeopardy.
Yeah.
If you don't, it is what it is. And the sheriff echoes the same sentiments. Bro, God got me here, not y'all.
Yeah.
So if God got me here, trust me, he going to take care of you, boy. I ain't worried about it.
Have you ever seen somebody you like rock with hard in the beginning and then they're not a bad person? They just get so caught up in the go along, get along that they become what it is, and it starts to rub off on the people they training or riding with.
Yeah,
too.
directly. I had a supervisor. You know what I'm saying? We was cool. I mean, even now, he a just straight up dude. Like, he get out here ripping and running. Like, he ain't one of them lazy dudes. He'll get out, rip and run with his people, but he got caught up in that. The old administration was like, hey, this is what you gonna do. Get him. You know what I'm saying? So he got caught up in that. I mean, and yeah, we fell out for a minute. I mean, like, you talking like I was giving homeboy money, the whole nine, like helping him when he was down on his money and his situation. I was there for him. A lot of people didn't even know. And I ain't the kind of dude that don't throw me no celebration. If I'm doing it, I'm doing it because I care. And yeah, man, they ended up finding out he was part of the problem. And we didn't talk, man, for a while, but he ended up coming back like a couple years later, and apologizing, telling me what all was happening. He was like, man, I apologize. I just got swept up in it. I'm like, I get it. It happens. But I accept your apology, though. Yep.
How close has it ever been to home as far as like, and I don't mean your household, I'm just saying just home, people you may know and stuff like that, like situations you've had to deal with? How?
Man, I done ran into some people that I know out here in the real world, moving stupid. I'm like, man, what are you doing out here, bro? Man, look, so here's my philosophy. We got discretion, right? So I tell my people all the time, my people get passes. Unless you out here being stupid, my people get passes. Because I ain't out here trying to jam nobody up. But if I have an opportunity to tell you being stupid and you get it and I send you on your way, hopefully you don't be stupid twice. Now, if I run across you again doing the same stupid thing, I may have to take a different approach. But yeah, man, I run into people that I know all the time. All the time. Especially when I was out here ripping and running, chasing cars. I run across people I know all the time. I'm like,
You didn't chase one of your people?
what you doing? I never chased them, but I done definitely stopped them. I'm like, man, what are you doing out here? You doing 90 miles an hour, bro. It's 55 through here. But that's just my thing, man. My people get passes. I ain't trying to hem nobody up.
Yeah.
Because they asked you in the beginning, if you saw your mother speeding, would you give her a speeding ticket?
No, nigga.
And you got a lot of people that'll say yeah because they think that's what they want to hear. I'm like, no, absolutely not. You think I want to be at Thanksgiving dinner with my mom's knowing I done wrote her a ticket? No, bro, absolutely not.
You ain't get no sweet potato pie.
And that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
Nobody is gonna write their mama a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't care who you are. If you are, you a sick dude. Yeah, you a sick dude. Yeah, I'm gonna write my mama a ticket. Lies. Mom, get out of here. Slow down. Yeah, man, that's what it is.
You ever seen this baby? You ever seen a girl that may try to play you? May have tried to play you when you pulled her over?
Yeah. I done had a chick, you know what I'm saying? She didn't unzip the little situation a little more than it was. I'm like, I ain't here for that.
Yeah.
Man, I done had a chick in the back of my car. I'm taking her to jail for drunk driving. She's like, can you just let me go? I'm on the way to the jail. I'm like, we passed that. She was like, I'll do anything. I'm like, anything? She was like, anything.
Anything.
I was like, bet. I said, you can do something for me. She was like, what? I said, sit back. Sit back. That's it? Yeah, sit back.
Enjoy this
You're going to jail. Yeah, ain't no getting out of this. And now I don't want none of that. But again, bro, I've seen people take women up on those offers, bro, and trash their whole careers. Trash their whole careers. One thing, and I'm going to say this how he told me. My night shift FTO, a guy by the name of Ray Heck, He told me when I first got with him first night, he said, you keep your dick in your pants and you're going to be perfectly fine on this department. That's exactly how he told it to me. And bruh, no sooner than he told me that, I started seeing the cats tumbling over women. Over women.
The funniest thing you ever seen on the force?
All right. Uh, call came out about two dudes fighting. Right? One dude got beat up real bad. Had to call the ambulance out. And get there, it's two dudes and a girl. So we figuring out what's going on. So the ambulance is like, hey, we're gonna have to take homeboy. We need to get him out of here. He messed up pretty bad. So it was a girl, her boyfriend, and then another guy that was having a threesome, where it's running a train on her or whatever. So apparently one dude was better than the other dude. So then the dude that wasn't as good got mad at the dude and beat him up. Beat him up, stomped him out. Like they had to do a whole little situation down here. He stomped him out, flattened his satchels. You know what I'm saying? Like stomped him out. Nice. Only to find out that it was her boyfriend, and her brother. And the brother was better than the boyfriend. So the boyfriend beat the brother up.
The fuck?
Real spill, bro. True story. True story.
Okay.
True story. True story. Yeah. Wow.
You got something?
Wow.
Before I go.
I just want to know if the girl's brother or the guy's brother?
It was the girl's brother.
Her brother.
Yeah. It was her biological brother. Yep. Her boyfriend, and her blood brother.
Crazy. The most hurtful thing you've ever seen.
Hurtful thing
dealt with
by far. I worked a 14-year-old suicide. So we get called out to this house in Lee Summit. I mean, big affluent neighborhood. All the houses big, man. Just rich people neighborhood. So we get called out. Mother had been looking for her son for like an hour. Couldn't find him. So she finds him. So the way homeboy's room is set up, I mean, his bedroom is bigger than this, bro. Like his bedroom. So go in his bedroom, he's got a walk-in closet.
Bigger than his whole life?
Yeah, bro. Just his bedroom. Damn. Cold-blooded. Vaulted ceilings, the whole nine. So walk-in closet, you open the doors, all you see is clothes. But if you walk all the way in, this wall, it looked like the wall is closer than it is, but it's a whole nother wing on the closet. So you can go in and walk down a whole nother wing. So he had hung himself in that wing. His mom didn't know because she opened the closet thinking she gonna see him, didn't see him, didn't think to go in. So she had been looking for him for like an hour. So she finds him, we get there, take him down, freaking doing CPR on the little homie. And, you know, medics come, they take over. So, of course, they hoist him in the ambulance. So I'm following the ambulance to the hospital. Get him to the hospital. When they open the back of the ambulance to get him out, now he's got like blood just pouring out of his nose and his mouth, like pouring out. And I'm like, what the heck happened in the back of this ambulance? So they get him in the room. Doctor's working on him for like another 40, 45 minutes. And, you know, I mean, they working, they doing everything in their power. And the doctor finally calls it like, he's done, he's gone. So they take all their stuff out the room. So now I got to stand in the room with him because like it's a crime scene now, right? So I got to stand in there with him until the detectives get there. So they got him covered up to his neck. And I'm just looking at little man like, what could possibly be that bad at 14? So he hung himself with a soccer sock. You know, those soccer socks is real long.
Mm-hmm.
So he just wrapped it around a little clothing rod, hung himself with it. So I'm like, what the heck could be that bad at 14 to make you just want to take your own life? There was no note. There was no, you know, mom didn't, she said she don't think he been bullied, nothing. I mean, he living a good life.
No sign.
No sign, bro. Living a good life. I mean, game consoles, nice clothes, big room, big beds, everything that you would think a kid would want.
Did he lack attention from her?
Now, see, that's what we don't know. So nobody ever got to the bottom of it, you know, because there was no, like I said, no note or nothing. But So at that time, my son was 13.
Mm.
So of course, that's the first thing that came to my head. Like, this could be my son, bro. So when I got to the car, I called home. I called because I was married at the time. I called. It's like, hey, where's Rayvon at? Let me talk to him. So I'm like, hey. I was like, you good? He was like, yes, sir. I was like, when you get home from school tomorrow, I need to talk to you. He was like, yes, sir. Everything okay? I was like, we'll talk. So I talked to him, it's like, hey, listen, if you're going through anything, bro, talk to me. Like, if there's somebody messing with you in school, something going on, just talk to me. Because I'm like 13 and 14 years old, bro. Like, when I was 13 and 14, suicide wasn't a thing. Like, we wouldn't think about killing ourselves at 13 and 14. So something had to have gone wrong. And man, that stayed with me. That particular situation stayed in my head, bro, for like 2 weeks solid. In every dream, everything. Like, that was one of them times where you couldn't leave work at work. That was one of those situations for me. That was probably by far the hardest because it just felt like it was so close to home because I got a kid this age. And I don't know what I would be if I came and found my kid hung up in his closet somewhere and we don't know why.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest situation that I've dealt with personally. Like, I've had some other little situations where death was involved, but that one right there, that one took the cake for me.
How does LaVanden and other officers recover mentally from something like that?
So now we got outlets. You know what I'm saying? Now we got therapy that you can go to. The county pays for it. They give you time off if you need it. You know what I'm saying? So back then, I've always been a journaling, you know what I'm saying, writing stuff out. Like, I've been
Mm-hmm.
that guy, like writing stuff out, whether it be, getting it out in music. I've always kind of had like healthy outlets. So I never really let it just sit on me. And that was one thing I told my relative. I'm like, listen, bro, you got options now. You ain't gotta let that burden you down, bro. Get it off. So he went and talked to a therapist the next day. I'm like, do that because we didn't have that back when I started.
Yeah.
But I've always had like healthy outlets. You know what I'm saying? Because I've never let a lot of stuff get to me in life. Like, I've just always been kind of upbeat, happy, kind of jovial kid. So that's been kind of one of my mechanisms to stay grounded and stay level.
Can you let us know about the scariest time you've ever experienced?
Scariest time, man, would have to be um, when two officers were killed. I think it was back in February. One of our process servers and an Independence Police Department guy, Cody Allen and Drexel Mack, they were killed by a guy. Man, so they were. So the process servers are the ones that go out and do the evictions.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going out to evict a guy, and how it goes is, they were out there with a locksmith. He drilled the lock because they normally change out the locks or whatever. So he drilled the lock, and when they opened the door, the guy was almost like laying in wait for him. So he started shooting, and I think Drexel was the one that got hit first. And Drexel was kind of a larger guy, so, and it was hard for people to get to him because every time you got in a certain place where the guy could see you, he was shooting. So one of the Independence guys comes to try to check on Mac, and he took a round as well. So everybody, man, is coming from everywhere. I mean, agencies in and out of the county were coming. They put out the call for everybody to come. So I get there, and at this time there are like still shots going off. Like, you could still hear shots going off. So I got one of our snipers and another one of our deputies. So we went to the house just to the left of the house, and we got with the neighbor like, hey man, there's this big cornfield right here. Can you drive us out into this field in the bed of your truck so our sniper can take up a position out here behind this shed? So he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So we're all laying in the back of this truck. I got the shield. The sniper's got his rifle. Then the other deputy, he's got his guns as well. So he drives us out to this field, man, and we're running. So I'm running kind of at an angle because I got to hold this shield up in front of all of us just in case somebody starts shooting from where we are. so they don't hit none of us. So we finally make it out to the shed that was out in the middle of this cornfield, and so I'm spotting for the sniper just in case, telling them what I see, the whole nine. So after a while, they finally send in the TAC guys, the special forces dudes, to go in and get the guy. Um, he ultimately lived, but that was after taking out two guys, one of our process servers and Independence PD guy. Super scary, man. Super tense. Um, Nothing like I've ever seen before. It was literally like an active zone, man. Like something that I've never seen before. I mean, literally the scariest, because you just never knew what was happening. And then to know you got two of your guys down, one you can't even get to him because the guy is still shooting at whoever tries to come and help. Super scary, man. And unfortunately, both of them guys, man, lost their lives that day. Drexel Mack and Cody Allen. The scariest day ever.
What was the what has been the best thing you have seen being a part of?
Seeing underprivileged kids, man, get chances to be a part of stuff that they normally wouldn't be a part of. Like when I first started, I used to do a lot of shop with a cop stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do a lot of those. Like we would just get a bunch of kids from the inner city
It's hard.
and just take them to Walmart and just let them do their thing. Like let them get what they wanted, and whether it be grants or the county money, like our union would raise money, and we would just, man, let these kids ball out.
Y'all tell them go crazy?
Yeah,
Like,
we just go.
and it ain't no holiday or nothing. It's just
Nah, nope. But they typically did it like around. It was close, maybe like coming up on Christmas or something like that. But yeah, man, we let them get on down, go, and it was just a joy, man, just to see the kids, because most of them, like I said, man, like 38th and Wabash or stuff like that, man. They Christmas ain't gonna be too much of nothing,
right.
Because mama working, she got 3, 4, 5 kids, and so just to be able to let them go and do something that they probably would never be able to do, that was a big accomplishment for me. Just to see the smiles on their faces, and you get up there, you ain't got to pay for nothing. Your mama ain't got to pay for it. Everything is taken care of. And then I think we end up giving the parents like some gift cards or something too. Like, here, get yourself something. But like stuff like that, just impacting the community, bro. That's been the biggest takeaway from all of this.
I heard you mention marriage.
Yes.
Being married and being in. Were you already in there before
Nah.
you were married? So,
Nah.
that's
Nah.
okay. So this is a little rougher than,
Yeah.
What's that like?
Man, it can be rough. I mean, it can be tough, especially if your spouse don't really understand the gravity of what you do.
Yeah,
You trying to come home and talk about stuff that they can't relate to. It'll almost come off as if they don't care. Like, well, what am I talking to you for then? I'm coming home trying to tell you my day, and you're like, oh, okay, oh, really? No, So it was tough. That communication barrier, trying to get her to understand then. But then after a while, I was like, it just is what it is. I'll find something else to do. I'll go in here and write some songs or something. But if you don't have a spouse that is fully aware of the stresses that come along with it, then I mean, if you don't find a way to get them on the same page, it could definitely be a clash between y'all.
somebody that can massage your mind and
Facts.
kind of help you
Yep.
through that too.
Yep.
But even on their side, it could be rough too, because it's like, this is a dangerous game. I might lose my husband,
Yeah.
or my wife.
I actually hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I actually hear that a lot. But it's that. I mean, to some degree, everything we do in life is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but my whole thing is I've always stayed prayerful. Always. I start and end every shift the same way. Prayerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very big in my beliefs. And again, I'm very big on just how I treat people, man. Like, you avoid a lot of danger treating people right.
What all? We finna close out here in a minute.
Okay.
What all titles have you had within?
Oh, man. So, of course, we start deputy, of course. I've been a DWI specialist. I've been public information, been public affairs. social media specialist. I have drone certifications. I have media and public relations certifications, and I've done a whole bunch of different stuff.
And which one you enjoy the most?
I think this public affairs thing,
Where you at now?
yeah, man, it gives me the freedom and the mobility, man, just to be out. Like I ain't got to be stuck doing one thing.
Not
I can
confined
just
to
branch
it.
out and do a bunch of different stuff, man, affecting people everywhere.
Can you leave us marked out?
Just remember, man, that everything that you do, you have the ability to change the lives of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Never think that your contribution is too small. You'd be surprised how that small thing in your mind could make a world of difference to somebody who needs it. So never get caught up in thinking that helping somebody or being the change has to be some dynamic, drawn out, big expression. It can be the smallest of things, like an act or a word of kindness, change everything for somebody.
Or like you giving us knowledge on this platform?
There you go.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all having me.
No, we appreciate you for coming through.
For sure.
Pray us out.
Father, we thank you for this time. God, we thank you for this opportunity to share and exchange, God, just life stories and information. God, we thank you for being in the midst. God, we bless you, and we hope that somebody that listens, God, hears something that would help them to be the change that somebody else needs. God, and help us to not be selfish. God, we thank you for this platform and everything that it's going to do, everybody that it's going to reach. God, and we just speak expansion, God, increase, God, anointed, and let it continue to be what people need and be the light that the world needs, God, in this day and time. In your son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for having the courage to do what a lot of us don't have to do, to step in a field and try to reach minds that we can't. We need people as effective as you.
Sure. Appreciate it. Still
in that
love what I do.
field. Like, so it's heavily appreciated. And thank you for sharing your testimony on this platform,
Sure, man.
even though I know it's way beyond what we got to.
Yeah.
The goal is to leave a lasting imprint on their minds and their hearts. We pray you've been indelibly marked.
Hey.
My brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.